Hello beloved souls, thank you for tuning into the Spiritual Podcasts channel. This channel is all about good vibes, positive energy, and meaningful conversations. To keep this space welcoming for everyone, we kindly ask that comments stay respectful, kind, and in the spirit of the content shared here. We reserve the right to delete any comments that don't align with this intention. No hard feelings, just protecting the vibe. Thanks for being here and spreading the light. Please be cautious of anyone claiming to represent Spiritual Podcast and asking you for money, donations, or personal information. We will never ask you for money through comments, messages, or DMs. All official updates and content come only from this channel. If you see suspicious activity, please report it immediately. Stay safe and thank you for being part of our community. If you enjoy the video and its content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Please be kind to other viewers of the channel. The video is about to start.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to plunge into some, pretty compelling currents of information, hoping to pull out insights that can help you navigate what feels like a really rapidly changing world.
It really does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like the ground beneath us is shifting. Old structures, things that seem so permanent they're visibly cracking. And it feels like something new is actually being born.
It's a really profound time. Definitely turbulent, but also, full of potential.
Absolutely. And it leaves you searching, I think, for a deeper understanding of what's really going on underneath it all.
Exactly. And getting clarity on those underlying dynamics, the sort of unseen forces and the possibilities emerging. It can bring more than just understanding. It can give a real sense of purpose to your own journey through this.
Well said. And for our exploration today, we are diving into a pretty extraordinary perspective on all these transformations. It comes from a unique source, the Pleiadian Collective. And they're reportedly speaking through a channel named Kin from the EU Elus Divina YouTube channel.
Okay, so for listeners maybe not familiar, the Pleiadian Collective, they're often described in esoteric circles as a group of, let's say, highly evolved, benevolent, extraterrestrial being.
Right, from the Pleiades star system.
Exactly. And the idea is they offer guidance, especially during times like these big periods of spiritual evolution for humanity. So yeah, this isn't your standard news report.
Definitely not. This is a much broader view, a cosmic perspective, really, on Earth's evolution and our role in it, all framed within this bigger galactic picture.
And the source material we're using, it's an excerpt from a transcript of their channeled messages. And it offers some really fascinating stuff about, esoteric dynamics, power structures here on Earth, and this galactic view on our story.
It suggests there's a much bigger drama playing out than what we usually see, right? Moving beyond just the surface narratives.
Precisely. It highlights the energetic, the spiritual dimensions of what's happening.
Okay, so our mission today is to really unpack these claims. We're talking about the weakening of old power structures, what this source calls the Cabal, or sometimes the deep state, and also the rise of human consciousness as this transformative force, and even claims of cosmic interventions actually happening.
These are big ideas, definitely.
They really are. And look, for many, these might sound pretty out there, but our aim is to understand how this perspective from the Pleiadian Collective suggests these forces are reshaping our reality, right now.
We want to explore the why and the how behind it, according to this source, offering what they present as clarity, maybe some support for navigating these times.
Because if this perspective holds any water, it suggests you are definitely not alone in this journey. So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first up, the Kabbalah's decline, this fading shadow. What's the core idea here about these old structures of power?
Well, the source makes this really bold claim that we're basically watching the end of an era for these groups they call the Kabbalah or deep state. And it paints them as these old structures of power that in the past weren't just influential, they were incredibly good at shaping our collective reality. And we're not just talking politics here.
No, it sounds much deeper. The source actually says their leaders and occultist practitioners held deep knowledge about energy and consciousness to manipulate the collective psyche. That phrase really jumps out.
It does. It implies they knew things about energy, about consciousness that most people have forgotten or maybe never knew.
So what does that mean about their methods? How do they supposedly operate?
Well, the text says they studied arcane secrets, performed rituals timed with celestial events. Basically, they were trying to access the subtle energetic networks of humanity.
Wow, like energetic manipulation on a mass scale.
Kind of like that, yeah. Imagine them trying to influence the collective mood, sowing fear or confusion, or even, as the source puts it, draining humanity's vital force to fuel their own plans.
This is quite a claim. Draining vital force.
It is, and the source insists that for a very, very long time, these methods were actually highly successful. They were subtly guiding things from behind the scenes.
So a long history of hidden control, working on levels we don't usually perceive. Deeply embedded stuff.
Exactly. Very subtle, very powerful. You can almost picture them, pulling strings energetically.
That past success, according to this source, is ending. Something's changing, right? Something is dismantling their whole setup. What's the first big reason for this decline?
Right. This is where the narrative shifts. The key idea is that it's not just political or social change, it's fundamentally energetic. The source claims that with the elevation of Earth's vibration and the waves of awakening sweeping the planet, these old manipulation techniques are simply losing efficacy.
So the very environment they operated in is changing.
That's the idea. The ground rules are shifting beneath their feet, energetically speaking.
The source has that great analogy. It's like the frequencies they once hijacked have changed channels.
Exactly. Their old signals, their manipulative broadcasts, they just aren't hitting the mark anymore. The intended audience isn't tuning in, or maybe can't tune in, to those lower frequencies.
That might explain why sometimes you hear those old fear-based narratives and they don't land the same way they might have years ago. They feel kind of transparent.
That's precisely the connection the source seems to be making. It elaborates, saying the higher frequencies of light permeating the world have destabilized the lower vibrations upon which their manipulations depended.
So it's an energetic mismatch.
Completely. Like trying to play an old cassette tape in a digital player, the technology, or in this case, the energy, is just incompatible. Their tactics relied on fear, confusion, those lower vibes.
And those vibes just don't have the same hold when the collective energy is rising.
Exactly. The source says they no longer find fertile ground as before. It's like the energetic soil conditions have changed, and their seeds of fear just don't sprout as easily. It's presented as a natural outcome of the planet's energy upgrading.
That's a really compelling way to look at it. If you've felt that shift yourself, where things that used to trigger fear now feel less potent, this offers a potential explanation, like a collective energetic immune system getting stronger.
Right, a growing immunity, a kind of inherent resistance building up as consciousness shifts.
So the environment's changing, making their old tricks obsolete. But that's not the whole story, is it? The source mentions something even more direct.
Yes, and this is where it gets really dramatic, you could say. The source talks about a significant cosmic intervention.
Okay.
The Pleiadian collective states quite plainly that numerous negative entities from outside Earth, and they specifically mention certain reptilian and Orionite lords.
Okay, and just for context, in these esoteric traditions, those terms often refer to specific ET groups believed to have had a sort of negative or controlling influence on Earth for a long time.
Correct. And the source claims these beings, who supposedly previously dictated the Kabbalah's agenda, have now already been removed or forced to retreat by the forces of light.
Wow. Removed or forced to retreat. So not just an energetic shift on Earth, but like an actual intervention from outside.
That's the claim. The source brings in the Galactic Federation, again a term from esoteric lore, usually referring to a kind of alliance of benevolent ET civilizations.
Right, like cosmic peacekeepers or something.
Sort of, and this federation, the source says, recently intervened to prevent further extraterrestrial interference in human affairs. And crucially, they did this in alignment with cosmic law.
Cosmic law. So there are rules to this.
Apparently. The intervention wasn't random. It followed some kind of universal principles. And the result was, according to the text, breaking the dark alliances that for so long haunted Earth. That implies these negative ET influences were a major factor for a very long time.
A galactic cleanup, essentially. That's huge. What was the immediate impact on the Kabbalah on Earth?
Well, according to this perspective, the impact was immediate and devastating for them. Their human operatives, the ones carrying out the plans, suddenly found themselves without the powerful backing they previously enjoyed.
So the support system was just gone.
Pulled out from under them. The source says the rituals and communications they used to get instructions or energy from these off-world masters now produce only silence.
Just static.
Nothing. Silence. Imagine relying entirely on guidance from these unseen directors, and suddenly the line goes dead. The disorientation, the panic.
Yeah, you can imagine. So without their astral directors whispering guidance, what happened to their organization?
Chaos, basically. The source says the Kabbalah lost the coordination and vision that once maintained their cohesive agenda. They lost their strategic direction.
And internal conflict.
Yes. We are witnessing chaos and disputes arising among their ranks as various factions now clash. Without that top-down control from their ET handlers, the human element started fighting amongst themselves.
Like that analogy you used, the orchestra losing its conductor.
Exactly. The conductor vanishes, the sheet music blows away. Suddenly it's just noise and confusion, everyone trying to do their own thing, but the overall plan, the coherence, it's just gone. This intervention essentially cut off the head, leading to massive disarray in the ranks below.
And this loss of backing, it wasn't just strategic, right? It hit them physically, too.
Yes, that's another crucial layer. The source states the Kabbalah has not only lost their metaphysical advantage, but also many of their physical resources, including certain advanced technologies and vast financial reserves, have been discreetly neutralized or cut off.
Neutralized or cut off, so we're talking tangible assets here. Money, tech.
Absolutely. This moves beyond the energetic realm into the concrete. The source gets quite specific, claiming the monetary and resource base of the Kabbalah has been reduced to less than half of what it once was and continues to dwindle.
Less than half. That would cripple any large operation.
It absolutely would. It severely impacts their ability to fund big projects, maintain their networks. The source even mentions clandestine financial networks being dismantled or interrupted, and hidden technological facilities and secret projects being neutralized.
So someone or something is actively taking apart their infrastructure.
That's the implication. A systematic erosion of their power on all levels. Energetic, financial, technological, logistical. It could manifest as unexplained project failures, funding drying up, maybe even weird tech glitches they can't fix.
So no cosmic guidance, dwindling cash, tech going offline. That sounds like a recipe for internal meltdown.
Pretty much. The source says that without the extraterrestrial supervisors in command, the human hierarchy of the Kabbalah is faltering, which naturally leads to internal conflicts. And importantly, many within their ranks are filling with fear.
Fear of what? Getting caught? Losing power?
Probably all of the above. Fear born from losing their protection, their resources, their sense of control.
And what does that fear lead to?
Defections. According to the source, some operatives are seeing the writing on the wall and are silently deserting or seeking ways to save themselves. Some are even attempting to spy or leak information in the hope of obtaining clemency.
Trying to cut a deal, basically.
Looks like it, and every time someone defects, they take valuable knowledge and experience with them. It further fragments the network, making it, as the source says, an increasingly ineffective shell.
Wow. The text describes it vividly. The old web of darkness now being full of holes, like a ship without a captain lost in the very storm it hoped to perpetuate.
It's a powerful image. Internal decay, fueled by the removal of external support, leading to this cascading failure.
And for you listening, the source suggests this isn't just happening in secret. It says you will likely see the results of this in the coming months and years as their influence fades across different sectors.
Right. It implies these shifts will become more visible. Maybe certain power players lose their grip, certain narratives just fall apart. It's an invitation to watch the world with this perspective in mind, to notice where the old control seems to be weakening.
Okay, so if the old structures are crumbling, where does the power shift? The source makes a really strong pivot here, doesn't it, towards humanity's role?
A huge pivot. It becomes very uplifting, very empowering. The Pleiadian collective directly addresses, quote, you, the courageous souls who volunteered to incarnate in these times, specifically calling out starseeds and lightworkers.
And again, for anyone unfamiliar, starseeds are often seen as souls from elsewhere here to help Earth, and lightworkers are those focused on spreading light and healing.
That's the general understanding in those circles, yes. And addressing them directly really shifts the focus to individual purpose, our active role in this.
It's not just happening to us.
Exactly. The source stresses that it's the brilliance of your inner light and the unity of your collective hearts that form the bridge to the new reality that is emerging. That's not just poetry. It sounds like a description of an energetic function.
A bridge built of light and heart unity. And it says our expanded and heart-centered consciousness is beyond their reach. That's a massive statement.
It is. It suggests these old forces literally cannot interface with or control this awakened state. because it operates on a completely different frequency, a higher vibration.
And this shift is actually turning the tables on them energetically.
That's what the source claims. It notes the very energies upon which they depended now align with the awakened collective, irreversibly turning the tide against ancient manipulations.
So the power source they tried to exploit, consciousness itself, is now working against them.
It's aligning with the awakened group, empowering them instead. It really underscores this idea of your deep cosmic purpose right now. You're not just watching. You're an energetic anchor for this new reality.
Okay, this connects back to the cosmic intervention we talked about. The Galactic Federation stepping in. The source says this wasn't just random, right? It was linked to us.
Yes, this is a really fascinating point. It ties into this idea of cosmic law, which is described as being founded upon principles of harmony and balance. Think of it like universal rules of engagement.
So interventions can't just happen anytime, anywhere.
Apparently not. They can't just impose their will. There needs to be a request or some kind of authorization, especially under principles like non-interference.
And that authorization came from humanity.
According to the Pleiadian collective, yes. It states very clearly. As more and more humans awaken and collectively yearn for true freedom, this unified will invokes and authorizes these protective interventions.
Wow. So our collective desire for freedom actually gave permission.
That's the core idea. It's your own free will, expressed as a growing collective cry for freedom and truth that empowered the Federation to act. Every person genuinely wanting a better world, praying for peace, holding an intention for truth. It all adds up.
It contributes to this collective signal.
Precisely. The source says every prayer, every meditation, and every sincere intention for liberation sent by humanity added up to a chorus that the universe cannot ignore.
A chorus the universe can't ignore.
Yeah. And this unified call, this collective energetic broadcast, gave benevolent forces the necessary permission within the laws of non-interference to intervene more directly. It's like our awakening opened the door, and our collective desire for freedom turned the key.
That's a powerful feedback loop. Our awakening enables their help. And what was the tangible result of this permission being granted?
The source mentions the creation of an energetic shield around Earth.
An energy shield.
Yeah, a barrier through which no deceptive scheme can long sustain itself. Imagine this protective energetic layer forming, making it harder for those lower frequency manipulations to get through. Essentially, the source claims awakened consciousness literally tilted the cosmic scales.
So your thoughts, your intentions, your desire for freedom, they aren't just personal feelings. They have a direct impact on global events and even cosmic support.
It makes you an active player, a co-creator in this whole process, not just someone watching from the sidelines.
Which brings us back to why the Kabbalah's old tricks are failing. The source says they fundamentally misunderstand something crucial.
They do. It says they cannot comprehend the profound spiritual fortitude carried by starseeds and lightworkers, and that they grossly underestimate the influence of the heart. This is described as their major blind spot.
Underestimating the heart.
Yeah. And because of this, their error in judgment leads them to employ tactics that, instead of suppressing the awakened, frequently end up unifying them even further.
So their attempts to divide actually backfire.
Often, yes. The source even asks you, the listener, haven't you noticed how certain fear campaigns or divisive maneuvers in recent years have only brought closer those who walk the spiritual path?
That's a really interesting point. Sometimes it does feel like attempts to create fear just make people double down on connection and community.
It galvanizes them. It strengthens the very network they wanted to weaken. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline, spiritually speaking.
So how does the heart create this resilience?
The source explains it poetically but powerfully. The heart center in each of you is a multidimensional portal capable of channeling sacred currents of creation. When you live from that heart space, you emanate energetic waves that elevate the collective vibration.
So their negativity just can't stick.
Not only does it not stick, but the source claims it, ironically, helps to strengthen the very network of light they wish to weaken. Their efforts inadvertently feed the light.
That's quite the cosmic irony.
Isn't it? They invest in all this surveillance technologies or psychological manipulation, but the source emphasizes they just do not understand that an awakened soul guided by its inner wisdom can see through lies and remain immune to fear programs.
So your own inner compass, your connection to your heart, makes you essentially bulletproof to their old games.
That's the core message here. It reassures you that your inner light, your heart-centered awareness, makes you essentially immune to these tricks. It renders all their machinations ineffective. It's not just about being smart, it's an energetic state of being that they simply can't penetrate. You become an anchor of truth.
Okay, this is a huge shift and likely challenging for many. So how do we navigate this personally? The source offers some really practical advice, doesn't it, for staying centered when things feel chaotic?
It does. It's very grounded advice, actually. It tells starseeds and seekers to remain firm in your center, especially when turbulence or chaos and panic seem to flare up externally.
And how do we do that? What's the recommendation?
The core recommendation is anchoring solidly in the heart space as a daily practice, making that connection conscious and regular. And this includes really basic but crucial self-care. Take care of your bodies, acknowledging the body is part of our energetic system. Also, keep your energy centers clean through meditation or purification techniques of your preference.
No, basic energetic hygiene, really.
Exactly. These aren't just nice to haves. They're presented as essential for keeping your balance and clarity when the world outside feels messy.
And there's a big emphasis on nature too, right?
Huge emphasis. It advises spend ample time immersed in nature's tranquil embrace. It explains that the nurturing energy of Earth will help you stabilize and revitalize your fields.
So connecting with the earth helps ground us energetically.
Precisely. It's not just about relaxing, it's an active energy exchange. The source suggests even just a few minutes walking barefoot on the ground, sitting under a tree, or feeling the sun and breeze on your skin can work wonders to cleanse your aura and uplift your spirit.
Simple things, but powerful.
Very powerful. It's about tapping into that natural support system the Earth offers. So these are really actionable steps for you to maintain your inner balance, your resilience, build that inner sanctuary. And the reminder is there too. Every storm passes and balance always returns.
That's comforting. Okay, so as the old crumbles and we work on staying centered, the source also talks about something exciting emerging within us. New abilities.
Yes, this is where it shifts from just navigating to actively evolving. The source says to prepare for latent abilities and soul gifts arising within you like never before.
Latent abilities?
Yeah.
Like what are we talking about?
It describes a range, things like intensified intuition, getting clearer gut feelings or insights more often, or maybe a spontaneous knowing that will guide you safely, like your inner GPS just got a major upgrade.
Okay, heightened intuition. What else?
It also mentions expanded healing capacities emerging. Now, this could be through direct energy work, if that's your path, but also through creative expression, or even just by your simple, comforting presence that uplifts and inspires those around.
So healing can take many forms, not just hands-on stuff.
Exactly. It's a broader understanding of how we can positively impact the energy around us and within others.
And then it goes even further into things like telepathy.
It does. The source suggests we might experience stronger telepathic connections. This could be with other people, maybe intuitively sensing their emotions or thoughts more easily, but also with your spiritual guides.
Connecting more easily with guides?
Yes, it explicitly says the veil is becoming thinner. That barrier between the physical and non-physical realms is becoming less dense, allowing for more direct communication and perception.
That's a profound idea, a thinning veil.
It really is. And the overall message here is encouraging you to notice these shifts within yourself, to embrace them without fear. See them not as weird anomalies, but as natural parts of your own awakening, part of this larger planetary upgrade. As the old programming fades, our innate, maybe dormant abilities are coming back online.
And speaking of connection, the source also touches on extraterrestrial contact becoming more likely.
Yes, building on that theme of connection and the thinning veil, it says the approaching times bring the promise of deeper and more tangible contact with your benevolent extraterrestrial family.
Benevolent ET family. That phrasing itself is interesting. It speaks to that feeling some people have of searching for a connection beyond Earth.
It really does tap into that potential longing. And the source links this possibility directly to us. It explains that as collective fear around this topic dissolves.
So the fear is a barrier.
Seems to be. And as you individually elevate your vibration, then these contacts not only become possible but probable. So Our collective energy and our individual frequency play a key role in opening that door.
Okay, so how might these contacts happen? Is it like spaceships landing on the lawn?
The source suggests it'll likely be much gentler and more personalized. It mentions encounters happening in vivid dreams, during meditations, or even in gentle physical appearances and direct interactions.
Gentle appearance.
Yes, and crucially, it says these will always be orchestrated in a way that aligns with your comfort and readiness. It gives examples like maybe sensing your Pleiadian guides nearby or feeling a familiar and loving energy. The emphasis is on supportive, non-threatening experiences.
So it's not meant to be scary. It's framed as something positive.
Entirely positive. It speaks directly to that sense of wanting connection, assuring you that you are not alone in the universe, and soon this truth will be evident in the most beautiful ways. It's presented as a return home, a reconnection with beloved relatives from the stars. Not an invasion, but a reunion.
Okay, so pulling all this together, the source paints a picture of a new dawn. And it sounds pretty definitive about the old structures.
Very definitive. It states the Kamala totters on the brink of final collapse and declares quite boldly, the era of imposed fear and control is coming to an end. It's presented not as a possibility, but as an inevitability.
And this new reality, it's not some far-off dream.
No, that's a key point. The source insists it is not a distant dream, but is being generated through your hearts and hands at this very moment. It's happening now through us.
Through our hearts and hands.
Yeah, emphasizing our active role. The radiance you carry is more powerful than any external influence. And it clarifies, the triumph of love does not mean the absence of challenges, but the certainty that no challenge can extinguish the flame you carry. It's about resilience, not perfection.
That's an important distinction. It's not about everything suddenly being easy, but about having an unshakable inner core.
Exactly. And this perspective completely reframes the idea of impossibility. The source says, what seemed impossible becomes inevitable.
Which makes you look at the current chaos differently.
It does. It suggests the world that is dissolving before your eyes should not be seen with sadness, but with gratitude, because it fulfilled the role of revealing to you everything that needed to be healed.
So the breakdown is actually part of a healing process, a necessary clearing.
That's the perspective, a purification, making space for the new to be built on a healthier foundation.
Which brings us back to our role as architects of this new reality.
Yes. The mission for awakening souls, it says, is to maintain inner balance, continue encouraging one another, and constantly anchor the highest frequencies of love into Earth's energetic networks.
Anchoring love, like an ongoing job.
An ongoing, conscious, collective effort, continuously bringing in and grounding those higher vibrations. It's not passive waiting, it's active participation every day.
And doing this together creates a new timeline.
That's the idea. United in purpose, you are generating a timeline where shadows simply cannot take root anymore, and it uses that beautiful image. You are the midwives of this nascent world, bringing it to life with every loving choice you make.
Wow. Midwives of a new world. It really highlights the impact of our individual choices.
It does, and it extends to our thoughts and feelings, too. By constantly imagining and feeling with consistency the world of peace, harmony, and abundance you wish to see, you help to summon it into existence.
So our vision helps create the blueprint.
Exactly. Your inspired dreams and prayers establish the energetic blueprint for the bright future. It positions you firmly as a co-creator, not just a recipient. You're helping build this new Earth that will serve as a beacon for future civilizations. Our inner world shapes the outer world.
This whole process,
Yeah.
it's not just random, is it? The source frames it as something much bigger.
Much bigger. It describes powerful cosmic energies reshaping everything inside and out. And it calls these changes the culmination of ages of preparation, a divine plan of love finally becoming tangible on Earth.
The culmination of ages, a divine plan. That gives it immense significance.
Absolutely. It elevates the entire experience. The source says things like, every beat of your hearts is a cosmic decree. Every conscious breath you emit is like a wave propagating through the ether.
Our very being becomes an act of creation.
That's the feeling. It asserts that you are pillars of a transformation that cannot be stopped because it originates from the very source, and the source knows no failure.
That's incredibly empowering. And it shifts how we see ourselves in this.
Completely. It states, you are not uncertain apprentices before the unknown. You are masters who have returned to activate the divine plan of liberation.
Masters who have returned.
Yeah. It's a call to remember your inherent power, your true nature. It reframes any feelings of being overwhelmed into a recognition of purpose and capability.
It provides that deep sense of meaning, of destiny, reminding you of your power, your significance right now. You're not just watching history unfold.
You are the authors of this new history. That's the final powerful assertion. It's an invitation to fully step into that role, knowing the magnitude of this moment and your part in it. Hashtag outro.
Wow. Okay, so let's try to summarize the core message from this really expansive source. Basically, the old power structures, the Kabbalah, they're crumbling energetically, financially, structurally.
Right. Earth's rising vibration, cosmic interventions, it's all contributing. And simultaneously, humanity is waking up, becoming empowered through heart-centered consciousness.
Making those old fear tactics just ineffective.
Exactly. And this new reality based on love, unity. It's not just a hope. According to this source, it's an emerging certainty that we are actively co-creating.
Through our choices, our intentions, our inner work, right now.
Precisely.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, the Pleiadian Collective offers this final thought, something really potent to sit with.
It's a powerful one, they say. Sustain the vision even when the darkness seems to shout loudest. For darkness only shouts when it is being dissipated by the light. And light, beloved ones, is what you are.
Wow. Darkness only shouts loudest when it's being dissipated.
Yeah.
That really reframes how you might perceive resistance or chaos, doesn't it?
It completely flips it. It suggests that the noise, the apparent struggle, isn't a sign that the darkness is winning. It's the opposite. It's the sound of the light actually working, dissolving what's no longer sustainable.
The final cries of the old paradigm as it fades. It challenges you to see beyond the surface noise and recognize where the true power lies within the light, within you. So it's an encouragement, really. Keep doing your inner work, trust this process, even when it looks messy externally. And remember your role as that bridge between worlds.
And remember you're supported. The source constantly reaffirms that benevolent help is present, that this transformation is certain. You are never alone in this.
Absolutely not. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into what is undeniably a very different and empowering lens on our reality.
It's been fascinating to explore.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and perhaps most importantly, keep shining your light.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Until next time, take care and have a wonderful and blessed day.